Hey, my name is Megan Schlichtmann. I'm the owner at Nexus Financial, and we help small businesses all across the U.S. with accounting, tax, and bookkeeping. Our specialty is working with those who use both Jobber and QuickBooks. We have some clients that choose to sync the software, and we maintain that sync for them. We also have clients who don't sync the software, and we also work with those clients and maintain their bookkeeping as well. So today I'm going to cover a specific issue, which is going to be instant payouts for a client in QuickBooks that does not have Jobber and QuickBooks synced. So this could be a very niche group of people that this video may apply to, but I still think it's really helpful for you to learn how to match these payments. So with the software synced, if we were to have that synced, what it does is Jobber sends the information to QuickBooks of what the fees are and what the total invoice amount was for. So in a software situation where we don't have the two synced together, QuickBooks never fully knows how much income you made. It only knows the amount after the fees. So this could be an issue. We can't report taxes without putting that full income amount. If we made $2,000 and we're only reporting $1,900 because of fees, we still need to report $2,000 on taxes, and we can show that $100 deduction as a merchant fee expense, as a business expense. But back to our instant payout reports. So what the issue we are seeing in here, I'm going to hop over into QuickBooks. So the main ones that I want to highlight for you today is going to be this deposit of $1,043.89. We also have an expense of $10.54, and then we also have another deposit of $26.11. So I know this is a little out of order in QuickBooks, but when we go over to Jobber, these are the things I'm looking at. I'm looking at that instant payout report of $1043.89. I'm looking at that expense for $10.54, and I'm looking at that deposit of $26.11. So this instant payout, if we click on this, we are going to see no information. Yes, you may have a payout number. I don't know how much the invoice total was for. I don't know what invoice this was applied to. I don't know what customer this was for. I just see how much my client received on that day for that payout. So this specific line item is not very helpful. There are two other line items that we are going to see as helpful though. So just like I mentioned, we have an expense of $10.54. So Jobber withdrew $10.54, and I can see that this was all a fee. This is an instant payout fee for $10.54. And if I look at that third line item we are going to cover, it is going to be a deposit of $26.11. Now, when I open this up, this gives me a lot more information. I see this instant payout of $1,043.89, which is the exact same amount that we received in the other line item. I can see the payment information of who it was from, the total, and I can see the fee for this invoice. So what I want to highlight for you right now is we received $1,043.89. The invoice total was $1,100. Even if you're not good at math, you know that that is not just a $30 difference. It's greater than a $30 difference. And that is because our other expense listed in the other one makes up for this difference. So if that's all confusing, I'm hopefully going to try to work it out with you inside of QuickBooks so we can see what's going on. So inside of QuickBooks, these expenses are not in new order right here. Remember, we have this $1043.89, and then we have this $1054 expense, and then we have this $26.11. So I'm going to kind of keep the same flow of complexity between Jobber and QuickBooks. So Jobber, we saw two of those line items really didn't give us a lot of information. So I'm not going to add a lot of information to those line items in QuickBooks. But that last payout report that had several line items in there that had a lot more information, I'm also going to carry a lot of information to that line item inside of QuickBooks here. So what do I mean by that? I know that this deposit is going to equal this payout. Let's go back to our payouts. So what I'm trying to say here is this payout of $1,043.89, there's not a lot of information here. I'm not going to add a lot of information to this line item here. I have the vendor or where the payment came through, and then the income line item that we are going to deal with listed as services. And I'm just going to select add here. So again, not complicated in Jobber, not complicated in QuickBooks. We're going to save the complicated part for whatever's also complicated inside of Jobber. So hang with me here, it's going to make a lot more sense. The next one I wanted to target is the expense for $10.54. There's not a lot of information here. The only number listed is $10.54, and I'm going to carry that over and record this expense for our $10.54. So this is going to be on the other column because it is an expense. Our vendor is going to be Jobber, and it is going to be a merchant fee expense line item. All right, so not complicated in Jobber. We're not going to overcomplicate it in QuickBooks either. The one that does have information is going to be this 2611. So here we have a lot more information about this payout. So where I see 2611, I also want to add in more information. So that's going to be this line item of 2611. What I need to do with this expense though is I need to split this out. So the split is going to help me account for a lot of other activity that's going on in the transaction, even though on the bank side of things, we only see 2611. So what do I need to do? First off, I need to add in this full invoice amount. We received $1,043.89. So that's a difference of $56 that QuickBooks doesn't know that we earned that money because QuickBooks only saw $1,043. We need to add in this extra income that our customer really made. So what we need to do is we need to get this split amount inside of QuickBooks to match our full gross amount inside of Jobber. So our full gross amount inside of Jobber was $56.11. So instead of $26.11, I need our services or your income category to say $56.11. Our services, the full amount of income that we did receive was $56.11. Now we have a $30 difference, which is exactly where I want us to be, because if we go back to Jobber and we're looking at our fees, there's a $30 fee taking out. So I need to add a line item, and this is going to be for merchant fees. And instead of income, instead of it being positive, it is an expense. So this needs to be a negative $30 for merchant fees. And the reason that I know this is right is because we have this $30 fee taken out here, but then we also had that additional separate line item fee taken out in a previous payout for Jobber. With that, we have in our gross total. So we brought in the full income amount. We have all of the fees taken out. So we have this fee plus the additional line item fee that I took out the step before this one. And we are still receiving a deposit of $26.11. So with that, our difference matches and I can apply and accept, and that will be it.